What's up, homies? It's Nickemwit here. It's been a hot minute since I produced any content, tumultuous year, but here I am. In this tutorial, I want to talk about things that you should practice as Captain Falcon that might fly under the radar a little bit. So, people will practice, their ledge dashes, their fucking hack dashes, their fucking tech chases, maybe that aerial interrupt these days, a little smasher and grab right there. Those are all difficult things. Those are things that have value to practice, that people know to practice, and that they do practice. Then there's other things that, are really hard that people will just see more and more of, like, that aerial interrupt right there, for example, on the platform. So there's all kinds of things that people practice, that know to practice, that they want to push the meta. But there's actually a lot of things that people should practice that might seem like they're easy or not worth the time, or they don't need to be practiced, but that's just not the case. If you miss these things under, pressure in like a tournament situation, you're going to be kicking yourself, and you might end up realizing that it's something that you need to practice. So yeah, these are going to be simple things, but that still need to be practiced as part of a routine if you're doing like a lengthier solo practice routine. All right, so I'm going to focus on things that, for the most part, are both true on a GameCube controller and, a rectangle. Here, I don't have Uncle Punch or 20XX set up, so I'm just on a regular ISO. A couple of these things will be things that would be better to practice on Uncle Punch or 20XX, but I'll still be able to show and illustrate it even without ISO. So yeah, not everything here will apply for a box or for a GameCube controller, but for the most part it should, with like one or two exceptions. So, okay. First thing here is doing backflip jump. One, doing it consistently. See, I fucked up there. Fucked up there again. Oh, see, messing up a lot, so I need to practice it more. But yeah, like that, where you want to get it, and you want to try to forward as much as possible. You don't want to do it like that where you're not moving forward, because this is a really good way to delay your approach and come in with a late aerial. And like that right there wasn't quite as low as I'd like it either. Yeah, that one right there looked really good. So how many times, even at pro level, have we seen somebody lose a stock because they missed a gentleman and got punched? So first of all, let me say that quick gentleman like that, pretty easy, doesn't require much practice. But something to keep in mind is you do want to practice different timings, like delaying after the first hit or delaying after the second hit. Potentially, probably miss these, but like ones where the first jab does not connect, but the second one does, and then one where none of them connect. I'll try to get that. Oh, I suck. Anyway, yeah, that shit is not that easy, especially when nothing lands, because there's less hit lag. But like in game, there'll be occasions where you're throwing out, kind of like zone out the person that they come in, and you will want to be able to do that. But in particular, remember that if you're just doing it as fast as you can all of the time, then it makes it way easier for the other person to hold down and spam grab. Whereas if you mix up the timing, it can mess with people's shield grabs, or crouch cancel grabs, like in that J Aklo set, where he really managed to not get crouch cancel punished, even though he was, spamming gentlemen and jabs a whole lot. Okay, this has probably got to be the most simple thing, but something one you really don't want to miss is obviously the jump cancel grab. Now, I'm not just going to say to practice that, because it's obvious that you want to hit jump cancel grab. I want to say that in Uncle Punch, there's a on-screen display for act out of jump or jump squat or some shit, and you can put that on and make sure that you're getting your jump cancel grabs on the first frame, because losing frames, especially if you're trying to like combo or get a tech chase with a JC grab, like let's say if you're comboing off of a hit, not off of a grab into a grab, a lot of times you'll have to JC the grab. Okay, next thing. Again, this will sound very simple, as is the nature of the tutorial, but dash back jump. So, you know, before UCF, doing this was hard. Now it's not hard, but it's still important to be able to do this in a really crispy way. So, the way that I like to set this up is like I'll make a save state where I just stand up right here and then I jump off like that. Just like because a common situation is having to jump off stage with double jump up air or fucked up that time. See, and right there, I didn't get the dashing momentum. I don't want the turnaround jump. I want a dash back jump. So, yeah, you know, going out with weak knee is also a big thing. So dash back jump, definitely something you actually want to practice. Getting your jump squat ledge sold will usually lead to an SD in this situation, and it's one where you really want to get a kill. And obviously, sometimes you can do a dash dance into it to mitigate the chance of failure. However, there are times where you can't, so you still want to be able to do that. And, you know, something that also you could mention here, which isn't necessarily as easy, would be like a turnaround jump, a smash turn jump, or if that's too hard for you to do consistently, or you think shield stop is good enough for whatever situation. Both of those as well, right? You can do like a shield stop and then like a weak knee there, or you know, just like sometimes you want to turn around quickly, right? Shield stop's good for that, but you know, sometimes also even in these situations losing even a frame is rough. So smash turn jump is also a thing that's good, but a little bit more difficult. Okay, another technique that people see from Falcon a lot is like a back air grab of the ledge or up air. Back air in particular I want to mention here because doing it like this is almost always not a good option. The only situations where this back air ledge grab is really good, I would say, is when you can do it like this. So right there on a gaming controller, you'll have to switch to claw. And even if you're someone who like doesn't use claw, this is a situation that's like pre-rehearsed, right? You're on the ledge, your opponent's off stage, you have time to switch your grip. So you want to learn to switch to claw to do that. I mentioned ledge dashing the intro as something that's hard and would presumably be out of the scope of this video. But I want to make an addendum to that. So, you know, a good ledge dash, let's try it. That was like a pretty good ledge dash. I think I had a frame or two in Cliffway, but it was probably still like 7 Clint, maybe even 8. But there, you actually want to practice doing a slower ledge dash sometimes. The reason for that is that like a good ledge dash like that, for Falcon, you need to actually do a ledge refresh, or you need to up B from really low to be able to get higher number of Galint frames. But there are times when you don't have time to refresh. Like, let's say your opponent is recovering at the same time as you and you get across the stage. So there's actually times where you'll want to do a ledge dash like that without a refresh. So just a slower ledge dash straight up. So actually practicing a slower ledge dash so that you can do the suboptimal ledge dash, but the one that requires the one that doesn't require the ECB manipulation is also something you should practice, even though it's easier. Getting your knees low. You know, like, knee is Falcon's best on-shield pressure. And in general, getting your aerials really low so you can move out of them as quickly as possible is really good. Now, generally, someone won't like just be sleeping in shield and let you knee like that, where you get it really low with no fastfall. So you'll want to be practicing like fastfalling it. I think like see that even the first one I did there with the fastfall wasn't as low as the second. So practicing jumping and then quickly fastfalling the knee so you can get it really low, so you can get as much frame advantage on shield is really good. And even sometimes maybe practicing it out of the backflip too. Don't think this one is as important, but sometimes like if you have center stage and you want to come in to the person in the corner, I think that can be pretty good too. Another instance with the backflip jump where you'd want to use it is comboing off of up throw at high percents against Marth, Sheik, Ganon, Link. I feel like I'm missing one other character that gets like up throw need higher up in the air. But you know, Mars and Sheik of the relevant top tiers, and then a couple other heavy characters that again like came to mind. So what you want to do to make sure you don't miss up throw knee if it's, you know, at the percent where it connects, is you input the dash right away, and then, you know, usually they'll DI away because that's the one that's the most frame tight to cover. So then you'll do a full hop knee just by pressing, you know, your jump button Y probably, and then A or the C stick. But if they DI in and you input your dash, what you want to do is quickly change your grip on the control stick to holding backwards. So, you know, I'm just against a regular CPU right here, but see right there, like how he didn't DI away, I could still cover DI in even if it was like further behind me. Like that was like slightly in front of DI. Even if the DI behind you, if you quickly switch your grip to the backflip jump, you can still cover that. And this is also actually relevant for down throw knee on puff at really high percents too, at the higher percents for that combos. So yeah, practicing dashing, but then quickly switching to the backflip jump if they DI in is something you should practice to make sure you don't miss out on these kills on these characters where the grab combos into kill like this. Using double jumps after up air and back air can be pretty good. Also remember that if you do an aerial on the first frame, you'll land sooner. So potentially this could be a lot harder if you do a first frame aerial. That said, you might still want to do a first frame aerial. You can still technically jump after you do a first frame aerial for either of these. Against like Jigglypuff, for example, these are actually really valuable tools because, you know, you can go to the platform after, and just in general, these are your best attacks in neutral in that matchup. So being able to mix up where you're going to land and coming in from different angles is really important. So, you know, up air and back air double jump in a vacuum are quite easy, but keeping in mind that if you hit it on the first frame, it might be harder. And then also practicing what you do after, you know, double jump, wave land, maybe even like a second back air. You'll see None do this a lot, right? He'll like back air, then he'll bait people in the shield grabbing. And, you know, there's more advanced things too. Practicing the double jump and then your subsequent option, definitely worth doing. The Yoshi Story platform, the heights, the layout of the stage can give you some different options, but something that flies under the radar is stomping onto the top platform. There's actually 3 different ways to do this that will have different timings, and there's potentially different situations where you'd want to do them. So knowing which one you want to do and also executing it is something you'll want to practice and keep in mind. So the first one is this instant rising stomp, which doesn't land on the platform, and that will nipple spike them. So it's not super common, at least in singles, that like somebody will be at a percent where you'd want to do this over landing on the top platform with the stomp and hitting with the meteor hitbox. But once in a while, you know, you can imagine a heavier character or fast faller like is up there. Maybe you raptor boosted them. Hell, maybe you like up smashed and they got hit up there. And then nipple spike has more of a lateral knockback angle, right? It tends to the side instead of straight up like a meteor. So then you could set them up for like a knee over there, and that could kill at a really low percent, right? If you stomp them around like 50 or 60 or something, and then it sets up for a knee over here, like above the side plat. Whereas if you need them off the top plat, they would still have a chance of living. Now, the second stomp is the slightly delayed stomp where you do land on the top platform, and the L cancel timing for this is kind of awkward. So like that. See, and in fact, I missed that against like that. Like that. So that's good, right? You land on the platform, you can stomp onto the top platform and get a meteor hitbox, which is usually better for setting up for stomp me because then they can't DI out of it. You know, assuming the percent of the characters, right? But for most situations, that is the case. So that one is good, but again, making sure you don't miss the L cancel, making sure you're ready to land the way it does, and not delaying it too much so that you land, so that it just gets interrupted, right? So, like, that's good, that's bad, right? That one stomp didn't come out at all, like there. And then, you can even delay it even more like that, where you land and the L cancel timing isn't as awkward because you're not like you're landing quicker once you're up there. So let me try it again, like kind of like that. Because yeah, like that. Because then the landing timing is more intuitive. Yeah, like that. So the third one where you delay it slightly, personally, I find that to be not as common as the second one. As something you'd want to use. The situation for that is though, like there, is if the second stomp timing just won't hit because they're still invincible from attack. But in that case, you know, I'd say you might as well usually just set up with a double jump and double jump stomp on top. Still something to keep in mind though. Okay, this is my least favorite thing to practice, and I miss it a lot because I definitely don't practice it enough. But just fucking up airing as you come down from the platform. So up airing like that is actually like a non-trivial fucking thing on this stage. The frame window is extremely tight. So I did a short hop one, did a full hop one right there, and then you also will want to do perhaps instant double jump, perhaps not. I would say from the platform, instant double jump, probably you won't be doing that one too much in a real game, but from the ground you might. So, see, it's actually, it's definitely not easy. The timing of these all feels really different, so I just missed it like 8 fucking times or something. So, okay, yeah, let's not instant double jump, but then, doing it with the short hop and with the full hop are a more consistent feeling time, right? Because you'll just like, it'll always be the same. Whereas the instant double jump, maybe you didn't double jump on the same frame. So, you know, being able to pressure somebody when they're standing under the platform is like pretty important in general. And sometimes coming down from a higher angle is actually useful. And you know, you can do this from top flat too, but I find that one to be a lot easier, and that doesn't really require practice. When Randall's on the left, which he will be in a sec, he can come out and screw you up on your ledge dash, or just any off ledge action, and can especially make it difficult to kill other people when they're off stage on the left. So practice being on the left side of the stage, you know, ideally with the timer on, so you can be ready for this. Also note that if you want to like do you know, shenanigans with Randall, like a waveland, it's gonna be way easier on the right side because he's ascending as you like will wall jump or whatever and then come down for your angle, right? You can't waveland on something up, so it's much easier to do those like Randall wavelands and perhaps other things like ledge cancels or I don't know, side being onto him when he's rising than when he's falling. So if you do want to practice to be a Randall master, doing it on especially the left side of the stage will be a good idea because it's actually harder there, and you know, remembering that practicing your symmetry on both ledges is useful in general. Hitting people on the platform on Battlefield and hitting people when you're on the platform in Battlefield is sometimes trickier than you might expect. First of all, characters different hurt boxes, even like around their feet. So certain aerials and certain spaces will work against some characters and not others. One thing I'll say, like the stomp is quite lenient in terms of like getting it out and the timing, but the spacing horizontally is quite a bit more precise than people might expect. Conversely, you know, kneeing somebody on the battle platform with a short hop, some characters this is really easy against, some it's hard against, and some you need to aim at a specific part of their box. And it'll depend if they're shielding too, right? If they're shielding, then it'll change where their feet are. So you actually, if this is something that you know, you're doing games against like one character, you have to be careful and remember that it's different against different characters to, you know, hit that knee right there. So, you know, making sure that you do practice hitting people on the platform with different characters, with different attacks, even like your Nair and back air too, is important. One other thing is like, so for reference, if characters are in like their regular stand state, you can stomp Fox through Battlefield and Marth through Dreamland and Falcon when he's crouching on Yoshi. So those are the hard ones to hit. So that's just like literally stomping on the platform is something you'll want to practice. And I actually want to say too, for double jump stomp onto the platform, like those were actually both a little bit bad. If you're trying to tech chase, platform tech chase someone when you hit them on the platform, like you land the stomp a little bit higher because how the hitbox is shaped. If you hit the stomp really low, you get the full horizontal extension of it, and because of that, you won't be able to cover the multiple options, the tech slice +1. So actually, practicing your platform stomps, like from below with the double jump, also something worth practicing. And the timing will be different on different stages, right? Because the platform's height is different. I'll just say real quick, for Battlefield, you'll want to like delay your double jump just a few frames. You don't want to do like an instant double jump. So people know that, instant double jump is good. I don't know if they practice getting the jump out, like the double jump on the first frame, but that is something you'll want to practice, and there's actually more to it than just that. So like, you watch S2J play versus Falcon, right? He'll be spamming the shit. You catch the person's dash dance, you come down on their attack or their tilt their back air with a timing delay, right? That's all well and good. You see that a lot. But actually, similar to how people have noted recently that short hop wave dash is better because if you miss it, your wave dash comes out better. Making sure that you instant double jump with short hop a lot of the time can actually be pretty important. So the reason for this should be somewhat intuitive, that the amount of height you gain per frame on a short hop is going to be less than the full hop. So like against Marth and Peach, Marth in this case is the relevant one. Sometimes you have the combo tree where you'll like instant double jump there, like that, and to actually hit that against Marth, it's much more plausible to do it if you are getting the short hop. Another example would be right here, this aerial interrupt. You gotta use the short hop for that. But conversely, like on Dreamland, to do the same thing with a higher platform, you have to use the full hop. So knowing the difference and practicing it in your hands, so you can do it fluidly, even without having to think too much about it, is also worthwhile. So maybe that crosses into the territory of difficult things rather than simple things that fly under the radar. But on the other hand, it's really just a short hop, right? It's just knowing that you have to short there. Okay, so something that's actually way harder for Falcon than people realize, this is actually especially true on the box, this is one of the ones that's harder on the box, is reverse kneeing people when they land on stage, usually with their up Bs, so to make sure that you can kill them and you knee them off the stage rather than across the stage, and not settling for stomp, which a lot of times will be worse than going for a knee. So there's no like perfect way to practice this because different characters have different hurt boxes, which will require different spacings on your end. But the one that's the most difficult to cover is if Sheik poofs so that she's just at the very lip of the stage. So I miraculously got that in my first try. I don't think I'd get that again. But if you can see where I landed, like see how Sheik would be right near the edge, and when she, when she is in her up B landing lag, she has this like crouched profile. So the up B where she clips the very edge of the stage and lands just at the lip is the hardest one to cover. So setting up a save state where Sheik is there, or freezing her in place right there on 20x, you could like just press up on the D-pad if you ever port 1, and then she'll be frozen there. And then trying to reverse knee her off of it. So, little tip, if you're playing on the box, it's better to start the jump earlier, and then start the knee, and then start the drift on a controller, you don't really have to do that the same way. You could just kind of like more fluidly start the fastball, start the jump, start the knee, and then only have slight drift on the controller of a, you know, medium X value. So definitely practice reverse knee off the ledge because it's your most important kill up in a few relevant matchups. Alright homies, that takes us to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I should say, just to be entirely clear, you know, this video was definitely not entirely comprehensive, especially when it comes to character-specific things. Like, I think it goes without saying, if you're trying to beat Falco, you should practice your anti-laser options, you know, take laser, power shield, etc. If you're trying to beat Peach, you gotta punish that down smash. Shit like that, you know, set up save states for. But try to keep it pretty general, and yeah, I hope you found it useful. You know, I know I didn't put out too much content this year, I had a lot going on, but still got a lot of tutorials and stuff that I have in the works. So yeah, drop me a follow. Still streaming on Twitch, Nickemwit, you know, still same on Twitter. And I'm not on Metafy anymore, but drop into my Twitch if you do want coaching, and just ask there. !coaching is the command. So, yep, catch you later.